put my socks, put my shirt on every morning just like you do. But the thing that TV or something separates me and you is because they fell in love with something that I've loved to do since I was 6 years old. That's play football. Now everybody here is something that you love to do. Luckily, God blessed me to play football and I was good at it. I do not walk around bigger, better, cocky than anyone. I'm just blessed to play football. So why I'm here today is because, you know, Mr. King, you talking about my boot camp. I always want to give back. And the reason why I want to give back is because I don't know where you all from. I do not know your backgrounds, but I come from the streets. You know, there's no other way to put it. And the struggles, the trials and tribulations that I had growing up was very hard for me. So when I was approached by Mr. King about, hey man, I need a favor from you. Can you come and talk to my class any day with work? So I told him no problem. And the reason why I did not hesitate to come, because I think it's very important for you guys to also understand that you may see my name, you may see me on TV. I am on TV twice a week, Sundays and Monday Night Football, broadcasting and analyzing the game. But back to me and you all. That doesn't make me better or different than you all. So the excitement that you feel, you know, put that excitement that you're feeling towards your career, your life, you know what I'm saying, of what you want to become in life. Because you can see me at McDonald's and, hey, what's up, Marshall? What's in my class? How you doing? But if you see me at McDonald's with my family, that's different. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that when you look at the television, that a lot of people says a lot of things that gets, you know, misconstrued, a lot of lies and stuff like that. So the reason why I am here is because I wanted to let you all know that I'm real, I'm human just like you all. I was in class, didn't really take advantage of class, but I was in, you know, same college courses, classes that you all ran. But the reason why I was here, right here today, was really to talk to you all about the culture of how it has evolved. I don't know if it's for good or if I don't know it's for the wrong reasons, but you know, when I grew up, just talking about the streets, I can remember my mom buying my mother and sister. I'm the youngest of three in my family too, all right? So just being able to look down at shoes, we didn't really have a lot of malls, we just had like little stores. And when I would go in these stores, I would see the brand name, I would see the Nike, I would see the Reebok, I would see the Adidas, but we couldn't afford that. So I remember one year for school, my mom got my brother a pair of shoes, got my sister a pair of shoes. But when it came to me, I said, Mom, where are my shoes at? She said, well, you're going to start school and them right there. So, you know, I'm looking like, it was my sister's track shoes, okay? And the brand name was Puma. So I disregarded that my sister ran track in these shoes, so I got the shoe polished them up. I'm coming to school, so I'm doing my first day of school. I'm in some Pumas. I don't know what everybody else is, but I'm in some Pumas. But now just switching up to the game of being able to maybe have a little job, find a little money. Now I went from a Puma, from Adidas, and I know y'all hear about all these brand names that you see now, but back when we were growing up, it was more like Pro Kids and Pro Wings and stuff like that. And if you got a pair of them on, you're doing something. Your mom and dad doing something. I think now where you're looking at the Jordan. Let's talk about the brand name Jordan and that logo. Now, I really do not know where the economy would be without that brand Jordan logo. I really don't. Because you think about the shoes, the clothes, everything that Jordan sells, and then they put the price to it. And I think that when you go into your closet, just by the show of hands, who has over 50 pairs of shoes in their closet? Well, what's crazy is the females and not the sellers. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to look at it. You know, for us to be able to, you know, go out and buy some Jordans or go out and buy these expensive shoes that these ballers are playing in, I was once on that other side of, and I can't afford it. So I came to the National Football League, and we used to play on some artificial turf. Now, you see the stuff with the football guys with the little black chips and stuff coming up, but back then that was not what we played in. We played on artificial turf that would, you know, give you a second or third degree burn just by, you know, falling on it. So what we used to do was go straight to Foot Locker. Straight to Foot Locker would be a Saturday or a Friday. We're playing on Sunday. So we're going to Foot Locker. Hey man, you got those in the 13? That's what I'm playing in tomorrow, less than 24 hours. Now things have evolved to technology to where they're, trying out shoes, being able to, I'm flat-footed. If anybody here a sprinter or runner? Well, if you know anything about running, most people that are fast have flat feet. And I'm very flat-footed. I just can't put my feet into anything. So for like 2 or 3 years, I'm just plucking shoes from Foot Locker, mostly Jordan. So that's how I had my own signature shoe. I had 2 of them. And the thing about it was I had no say-so in how much the shoe was going to cost. That was Nike. Nike and brand Jordan, that was them. But I really, like I said, being on that other side, I really wanted to give the people an affordable shoe. Was unable to do it. But really, to be able to see, for me wearing Puma, to be able to see how the shoe game has evolved to, for you women, what's that, red bottoms? I don't know, I might be outdated, okay? I might be outdated, ladies, so forgive me. So you look at an expensive shoe like a red bottom. Anybody got no everyday money, just go out and buy some red bottom shoes. But I think that when you look at where you are at in 2017, I don't even know what the next shoe is going to be in the next 10 to 20 years. But like me and Mr. King, he had the Ewings on. We call them Ewings. Those shoes right there, bro, were so popular back in the day, you can't get them. Now it's more like a joke when you have them on. So I think it's just more of, just understanding the shoe game from a high top, a low top, and I'm just speaking from an athletic standpoint, to where they used to have high tops. Now they're called, mid-quarter? You know what I'm saying? So it's just more of where my thought process of growing up as a kid, like I said, wearing ponies, then being able to have my own signature shoe. And when I have my own signature shoe, I got my enjoyment, my excitement off of looking on the television on Sunday and seeing other guys wear my shoes. So that made me think, okay, I made it. So now, I'm out of the league, I'm not playing anymore. I don't even know what brand name. I have Nikes on today, but I think it's more of, for the guys' version of the red bottom, what would the guys' version be, ladies? Y'all know? Gucci or something like that? I don't really know. I guess that's why I'm asking you all. Anybody can tell me?
Well, they have red bottoms.
They do? Yeah. Since when? See what I'm saying? You got it there? so just being able to see, like you said, they got red for guys. I remember when they started out with the ladies, and you would hear women, hey man, you're not buying me no red bottom shoes, man, don't talk to me. So I'm like, okay, what you going over there? But I think it's just more now that you say they have the male version. So y'all have to understand that, first of all, if you got the money, you can afford it, buy it. You know what I'm saying? It's your money. But at the same time, I was never caught up in the shoe game, knowing I had my own shoe, knowing that I was able to buy a lot of shoes. So, being able to be here with you all, I don't know how many of you all know me, how many of you all do not know me, that's fine. I'd rather you not know me than know me. And the reason why is, my man, what's your name? Carlo. Just because of that, man, because I like to try to tell people that, bro, I'm the same, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you see me out there in public, man, it's genuine love, And I think that when I did shoot my first commercial, when I did hold my first signature shoe up, that's when everything started taking off. I wasn't ready for it. Because all I ever wanted to do was play football. I've been doing that since I was 6 years old. So I think a lot of the stuff that I could have more shoes, like you're looking at like LeBron James now, you're looking at Kobe. I don't even know what number those guys are on, but they're coming year after year after year after year. So, I didn't really have anything specific to really talk about. Like I said, I just wanted to be able to show up for Mr. King and be able to talk about the culture, be able to talk about how things have evolved from just a regular shoe from the brand names now. Anybody know Stephon Marbury? I know the guys do. I remember Stephon Marbury came out with the Starburys, and they were cheap, dirt cheap. I think when you look at stuff like that, Stephon Marbury wanted to have an affordable shoe that he could play in, that could support his feet, but also make it affordable for the everyday working mom and dad that can't really, have 2, 3, 4 kids that can't afford that type of stuff. And that's really the stories that really touch me when I look at, a guy like that has all this money, all this fame, and instead of going with the big name shoes and this big name company, he's trying to do something to try to better the company. Shaq was in Payless. I don't know, Mr. King, if you know anything about that, but it's just more of, just paying attention and understanding that I don't know where shoes will be in the next 10 to 20 years. So, like I said, I'm open enough for questioning, anything. I mean, it don't even have to be about shoes, it can just be about life. Whatever you want to talk about. I don't know how much longer we got 45 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. So, I'm open enough for questions. Any questions? Do not be scared or do not be shy, man. Yes, ma'am.
And what teams did you play for when you were in the NFL?
I got drafted, brief story. I did a documentary last year. It was a 30 for 30 documentary that ESPN did about my life. And the thing about my life was I got in a big time racial fight in high school. I was the #1 overall recruit in the United States of America. I got recruited in track, baseball, football, basketball. So I was the #1 overall recruit in the United States of America. So I had got in a racial fight. To make a long story short, to answer your question, I got in a fight, did some time in jail, went to college, got in trouble there. Then what happened to me in high school with that fight followed me all the way to the National Football League. So I was supposed to be a top 5, top 10 pick coming out of college, but my past, as they say, haunted me, and they dropped me all the way down to the 21st pick. So I got drafted by Minnesota. I was with Minnesota for 6 years. Did some great things there. Then I got traded overnight. And the one thing that you look at, like y'all follow the Carolina Panthers, Camden, the thing about professional sports, the business side of it. So I was at home, and I read on Sports Center that I was now traded to the Oakland Raiders. Okay? Now, excuse me, I know that sounds funny, but that's just the nature of the business. You could be working an everyday job, and all of a sudden you get a call from whoever owns you now to say, hey man, you got to report out here on Monday, we just traded your rights. So I went to Oakland for 2 years, not knowing what I was going to do. Went to Oakland for 2 years, had a bad stint there. Went to New England for 3 years, had a great time. Retired for 1 year, and then came back to the National Football League. Tried to win a Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers. So with all that in a nutshell, I played for San Fran, New England, Minnesota. Played a month with the Tennessee Titans. So basically 5 teams in a 14-year career. Yes?
I saw your documentary last year, but you went to Marshall, right?
Yep.
So if you didn't, the little altercation, whatever, if you didn't, that happen, what college do you think you would have went to if that didn't happen? Like,
well, before the altercation, I signed to go to Notre Dame.
Do you like the helmets?
Yeah. I was going to Notre Dame. And so, right, if anybody knows it, they call it the National Letter of National Signing Day is in February for anybody in high school to sign when they're going to college. I just had signed my letter to go to Notre Dame. And then maybe like 2.5 months after that, the fight broke out. Then after that, I went to Florida State, got in some trouble, then came to Marshall. Marshall was actually, I'm from West Virginia. All right, that's about 3.5 to 4 hours from here right now. Marshall is about 45 minutes from where I actually was born and raised at, so it actually worked out for me. Yeah.
So I was just like playing with Tom Brady.
Playing with
Tom Brady.
It's funny that you say that is because when I turn on the television or when I read things that are printed about it, good or bad, good or bad. It's kind of like being on the other side now. I'm a fan, and now I analyze the game. It seems like that it was great to play with him, but now being able to look at him from afar to see, like the Super Bowl, for instance, that was a great thing to see, man. Because I know how hard he works. I know how hard he prepares. The greatest quarterback to me ever, because I've seen it with my own eyes. I don't watch it on television. Because if you watch stuff on TV, you don't get to see everything. All you get to do on television is watch the replay. But when you're watching it live, you get to see everything, man. How the game played was designed and everything. So Tom was just a cool, calm, down-to-earth guy, very professional. If you walk through that door, what you see on TV is what you're going to see coming through that door. There's no front. That's him. What you see on TV is real. Yep.
How did you feel after that undefeated season, Super Bowl loss?
Oh, man. He asked me a question. We almost, in 2007, I went to Oakland for those 2 years that I was telling you about. And now, if you pay attention to the National Football League, the Oakland Raiders are now coming back up. Back when I was coming through, it was kind of like the black hole place to send convicts to. Like, your last stop is here in Oakland. If you don't make it here, we're going to kick you out of the league. So, I was there for 2 years. Things did not work out. I was like depressed for 2 years. Never been depressed in my life, but now that I'm a little bit older, I was depressed then. So 2 years there, tried my best, lost weight, added weight. I tried to do everything that I could to possibly make things work out in Oakland. All right? So this is a funny story. I had $11 million on the table. The following season, it would have been my third year in Oakland, they were going to pay me $11 million to play there. And I just told you how depressed I was, right? I told the Oakland Raiders, y'all can keep your $11 million. I don't even want to play for you no more. Now, that has nothing to... Now, you sit up and talk, damn, man, that's $11 million. But I made money for so many years, so it didn't really have to do with the money. It really had to do with my insanity. How I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, pressure bust pipes. When we all get to that point, hey, either you're going to talk it over with me and you, or you're going to get to that point where something's going to end up happening in a bad way. So I was in Oakland, and they were talking all this negative stuff about me, about how I got slow, how my body was deteriorating, how I didn't care about the game no more. Now, that alone, I told y'all, I've been playing since I was 6 years old. So the love of the game, come on, 6? So all of this negative publicity that I was receiving, they were trying to keep me from leaving. So I got a phone call one night, and I don't know if you heard this story. I got a phone call one night. It was Bill Belichick on my phone, and I thought it was one of my homeboys playing on the phone, so I cussed him out. I cussed him out. And y'all know, late night, Saturday night, it was probably about 11:30, 12 o'clock. We sit in the VIP line, get ready to go in the club. So my phone rang, I didn't answer. Ring the second time, oh, this number showed back up. Yeah, hello. It was Bill Belichick. So I cussed him out. And that was one of my boys playing. So anyways, to make a long story short, he told me, he's like, look, I've heard about what you're doing in Oakland. There's a possibility that if you get here by 10 o'clock the next morning, you'll become a Patriot. And that's how it happened. That's just the business, man. I mean, it was 11 o'clock Central. So I was in Texas. So it means it was 12 o'clock here. I had 10 o'clock that morning to be in New England, or they was going to leave my ass in Oakland. So it was just the business, like I say, man, it's the business that like when y'all leave here, get your degree. Now you're in the field. Now you're in the real field. I know your teacher, your parents, whoever you look up to, your mentors, they tell you a lot of this stuff like your life hasn't started yet. When y'all leave this university and start your life, your profession, then your life is going to really start. So it's always back, like I say, man, I've made a lot of money, and my life is not really based on money. I didn't even charge this man to be here today. Now, y'all really want to know how much I would charge to be at something like this today? Anywhere between $8,000 to $12,000. Just to show you. You know, so like I say, it's like you know and you understand. It's more of as you get older. It's not about how I can climb up under the fence and steal some money from you. You gotta earn your own, and once you earn it, then you keep it. You can't let nobody tell you how to do it. Yep.
Hey, okay, you was playing the Green Bay Packers. You was on the Minnesota Vikings, and you wooed the fans. Tell me, what was your thought process on that? Like, when you scored that touchdown.
So I played 28 straight years before I set out a game. I was 34. So what happened was a couple weeks prior to the game, I ended up hurting my hamstring. I wanted to play. I've never in my life missed a game. So that's my first game. So I cried. I was like, Coach, hey, is there any way I can play? So I didn't play. So we ended up playing Green Bay. So as we're coming in there, everybody knows that I'm hurt, that I'm not playing. So as we're coming in, they got like a row of like 10 people. I'm talking about they showing their butts. So they moving in the bus, they showing their asses and stuff. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. So as we go in there, they're still helping me, throwing things at me, yelling, Randy, you're not playing. So I took it to heart, like, okay, if we ever face y'all again, I don't care whatever I have to do to win a game at Lambeau Field, I want to win it. So we lost that game, and then maybe 2 weeks after that, the playoff pairings came up. They said, Randy, you're not going to believe this. You got the Green Bay Packers first round. I said, what? Oh, man. So I prepared myself, not knowing what I was going to do. Not knowing what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to the game. So any of y'all remember the movie Gremlins?
Yeah.
You remember when he came in and turned and flipped the light switch and they were swinging from the ceiling fan, one throwing herself in the microwave, blowing up? That's how it was that night, Lambeau playoff. That's how hype he was, man. We was knocking, beating on stuff, and then so we went out there, we won the game. So I told myself we were up less than a touchdown with like 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game. I said, man, if I score this touchdown, I got to do something. I do something. I don't know what it is. I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
So I was going to shoot the bird at him.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, no, don't do that. So I scored a touchdown. I had one of my teammates running toward me to celebrate. So I think it was slight. I said, nah, man, I got to get him. I got to get him. So the first thing that came to my mind was those 8 to 10 butts that moved me about a month and a half ago in there. I had to get them back.
Yeah.
I had to get them back. Yeah. So it was just more of me playing with the fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it mostly 95% is all entertainment.
Right.
That's really all it is. You know what I'm saying? So just more entertaining, getting back with the fans, and then actually now I think I missed, was it $15,000, $20,000 fine?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it was something crazy. It was something crazy. And it was just all on the man that was commentating the game.
Right.
Made it bigger than it was.
Yeah,
so when the National Football League heard about all the stuff going on television, they had to stick me with the maximum fine. I think it was like $15,000, $20,000 just for that.
Right.
You didn't see it again, did you?
No.
All right, yes, ma'am.
Can you talk more about what you do at Stacks?
So Stacks. So what I still worked out and start training and stuff. So what we did, and that's how I met Mr. King, was more of, we put on a boot camp Monday and Wednesday for an hour for the city, and it's free. It's free. Yeah, every Monday and Wednesday. I don't know if your teacher want to see you there.
Oh, you did CrossFit?
Listen, I've had plenty of students. I run past plenty of students at course. It wouldn't be the first time.
He's been with us for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we've been doing it a little over 2 years. So basically, what it is just people, not belonging to a gym or not wanting to belong to a gym for whatever reason, we don't know, really don't care. So what we did was we were able to take the football fields, that we own at Stacks, and just come out there for 1 hour, and everybody's working out. I mean, we got the biggest number. We tried to break the Guinness Book of World Record last spring. We missed it by 200. And then the most we've ever had was a little bit over, I think it was like 560 people at one time on one football field. Just the other day, I think we worked out was a little under 300.
He won't even see me.
Huh?
He won't even see me.
No, I'm just saying. So, but it's just, just to answer your question, it was just something that we have. There's a lot of gyms around the city. There's a lot of people, but there's a lot of people that are sort of getting out of shape, And the older you get, it's kind of like my philosophy is give the doctor something to compliment you about. You get what I'm saying? And so it's just more of, and I think it's 25 to up. You see some kids, you see some young ones, but for the most part, we're getting an average of about 150 to 300 people every Monday and Wednesday, just working out for 1 hour. But it's very intense, very intense, very, very, very intense. But it's good networking. It's a great place to meet. Stacks was voted the #1 place in the city of Charlotte to meet and greet. Yeah. Yes.
What's it like transitioning from college football to pro football? Like, is it
Grown men. As far as because my biggest thing was I was always fast, so I could always sort of get away, and I think it was just more of learning how to be a professional. That's the biggest thing that you see a lot of guys, not just in football, but professional setting. It can be a professional, workplace, whatever it may be. A lot of people don't really understand that word that really comes with that professional. So you always hear people in the football world say, "Man, be a pro, know how to act, know how to take care of yourself." And I think it's just more of the expectations that the public put on you or put on us that they expect us to be. So that's what it is, just being able to know the difference between being a young man in college, then within, 2 to 3 months, you got to be a man. And the ones that do not make that transition, they get weeded out and looking for their regular jobs. Get it back.
So if you think if you didn't play football, do you think you could have went to the NBA?
I think I could have went to the Olympics. I think I could have went to Major League Baseball. I mean, not sounding cocky or anything like that, man. I'm very humble, very blessed, man. I just left a lot of doors open. And I actually went to a basketball camp the summer before my senior year and got very discouraged from the guys that were there. Kevin Garnett was there. Those are 365 days all year round gym rats. I was a seasonal athlete. Like the sports that I told you, when that sport came, I played it. Basketball. Those guys were 365 gym rats. AAU, summer league, whatever, and I couldn't hang with them. But the best sport I had was football. So when I couldn't really compete in basketball, I said football's going to be it. If not, I don't know. Yep.
What exactly did you do to set yourself apart from your competition?
Focused. Didn't party. Didn't drink. I think that this is me speaking from my heart. I think that's one of the main reasons that I got thrown out of Minnesota is because of things that I didn't want to do that the other guys were doing. Mm-hmm. Right after I left, Minnesota got traded. They threw a boat party. I don't know if y'all know anything about that, but they threw a boat party, okay? There were underage women on there. There was drugs more than marijuana on there. So to make a long story short, I had people hit me on social media talking about, "Man, that's messed up, man. You had all you guys on the boat. You did this." Wait a minute, I'm in Oakland. So Friday nights and Monday nights are the biggest nights to go out in the National Football League. I didn't go out. I went out for special events. You know what I'm saying? If it was a concert or something like that, I'd go out and hang with my team. But just random week, just to go out, I got a game to play in 48 hours. So my focus and my tunnel vision was my profession. Not football, my profession. It luckily was football. You understand the difference between the two?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell y'all, when y'all leave up out of here to become whoever you're going to be in life, your profession, that's where your focus and your tunnel vision got to be. You know, if you're a lawyer or you're a doctor, or if you're such and such, such and such, man, put your mind and put your heart into that. Be good at that. And that's what I had to do. I tried to go to the NBA after I mastered football. Well, I don't want to call it master, but got comfortable. And I wouldn't do anything else until I got comfortable. So I think it's just me staying focused and not getting off either side of the road, man. I just wanted to dominate. That's all I wanted to do was just dominate. And I did.
What's your most memorable moment in the league?
Memorable?
Guidance on things.
I got a memorable moment, but it's not on the field. I grew up in the church, and you know, my mom really honed in, keeping God first at a young age. So my rookie year, Dennis Green just passed away, not even a year ago. Was really big on people, really big on community. So that's all he ever said, hey man, on your free time, get out in the community, get out in the community, get out in the community. So that day, he told all the rookies, I need all the veterans to go in. If you're a first and second year player, I need you to stay on the field because y'all want to sign autograph for all the fans. Oh, I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. All my other brothers going in, I want to go in. So I had to do is shut my mouth, tuck my tail, go sign it. So as I'm signing the autograph, this is a true story. I hear a voice out of 200, 300, 400, 500 people, and it's a little girl's voice. All right? So she's, Randy, and I love children. All right? So she didn't know me. I didn't know her. I stuck my hands out, looked at her mom and dad. They were okay with it. So put the little girl on my shoulders. Me and her went around signing autographs. She kept the crayon with her, and I was signing it. So as we went on throughout the day, I gave her back to her parents. And I think they met me later on for dinner. Just fans, Minnesota Vikings fans. Maybe 2 years afterwards, and we kept in contact. They came to training camp the next year, the following year. This little girl catches cancer, loses all her hair. So I'm going to her now. They get in touch with me because she is battling cancer. So I go see her at the little Mayo Clinic and stuff, and try to bring her, lift her spirit up, and so she sort of beats it, but not totally. So she gets out of the hospital, and then that following summer comes, they're coming to see me in training camp. They get in a bad car wreck, her dad gets killed. Okay? Now she just got through battling cancer. Her father gets killed on her way to see me in training camp. Okay? So I'm sitting there like, wow, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. So I didn't see her, man, it's been 6, 7 years, man. So I'm in San Francisco. I think he was asking me about how many teams I played for. I retired 1 year because my family was in dire need of my support. I took a year off. Decided to come back. By the grace of God, we had a manager, a trainer, that does the ankle taping and stuff like that. He said, Randy, he said, my stepfather fell off a ladder and a guy came to his rescue because he couldn't move. So when the guy came to rescue him, the guy that he rescued was like, hey man, is there any way that I can thank you? I just want to thank you, man. You came to save me. I've been laying for over an hour. Nobody came to my aid. Is there any way that I can thank you? He's like, well, man, my son-in-law is with the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe I can get you an autographed football or something from some of the guys or something. It's the San Francisco 49ers. He's like, well, my stepdaughter used to be good friends with Randy Moss. So I haven't seen this girl for about 8 to 9 years. All right? So, that man falling off that ladder is what helped me and this little girl reunite. So, she never forgot that I told her about fighting cancer. Y'all can Google it, look it up. I told her the day she graduates high school, I'm going to be there for your graduation. I'm way out in the boonies of South Dakota, but I went to her graduation. So out of all the memories that I've ever had in the National Football League, like I told you, I've been playing since I was 6. So all of those accomplishments on the field, man, it's just like throwing a ball with the left hand, throwing it in the right hand. That's what I'm used to doing. But one thing I wasn't used to doing is getting to know people. You know what I'm saying? So that's my most memorable, is still to this day, I can call it right now. So she's just dropped out of college because it got hard for her, but she's still battling physically about some of the complications she's had throughout her life. But still in her are just like this. So to answer your question, that's the #1 memory that I take from 14 years ago. Yep.
How did you prepare, like, mentally for big game matchups, like when they was hyping up the matchup between you and the Raiders?
I never did. I never did. Every game I was always nervous. You know, I was always nervous. And I never was nervous about anything other than a game. Like they say, like the day I had we was talking about the day I got my signature football shoe. That's the first day I ever met Michael Jordan. And so I'm sitting down, and I'm like, man, I don't need Michael Jordan. I don't know Michael Jordan. So they had like a glass window, and then you see that big, tall silhouette. I'm like, oh my God, Michael Jordan. That nervousness was different from the nervousness that I was having on Sunday. Like, I always needed to get hit first in order for everything to just, now I can play. If I didn't get hit, oh man, I might drop the ball. But I always needed to get hit first, man. So that was just always for 14 years. You're talking about 16 regular season games, not including playoffs. I was nervous for every game, every single game. And I needed to do something in order to get to the Florida game.
Okay, on Rand University, you know, the documentary.
Yep.
Like in high school, do you think like did you still feel like that nervousness that you're talking about because like your friend was saying like how you and him was just because y'all was just so good.
First of all, let me tell you about this dude. All right. The dude you're talking about. This is going to let y'all know about your friends, your close ones. All right. He's the first one that made it out of our hood. Yeah. All right. We got 6 figures coming out of high school, and so he got his money. I went to Notre Dame, like I told you. Got in that fight. Went to Florida State. So with the fight, the judge gave me 30 days in jail. And I had to do it. I had to serve my 30 days within like 1.5 to 2 years. So when I came back from Florida State, I ran into the dude you're talking about. All right? And you're not going to like him after this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway. So he picks me up, and he got a 2-door red Mitsubishi Eclipse. And back then it was hot. I think he had 2 tens in the back, so it was really jumping. Yeah. So he comes through, and we hanging on the block, and so we looking at him, he looking at us. What's up, bro? You gotta tell us how is it? You the first one made it out the hood. How is it? What have you seen? Who have you seen? What have you experienced? So he's like, oh man, I gotta run, man. I'll get with you later, dog. I said, well, look, man, I got to be back in the jail at 8 o'clock, man. Can you drop me off? Oh, yeah, sure. What time do you want to pick you up? Man, pick me back up at 6:30. All right, now I was on work release. Now, I had 27 days to do. The judge gave me 30. I served 3 before I went to college. I had 27 days more. So next thing you know, this dude, he fired up a block. Shit, I got to touch it. All right, so I hit it. Now I'm on probation. All right? So the same dude that you're talking about, 20 years later, all right, word on the streets was that this man was so jealous of me and what I've accomplished, he called the jail when he dropped me off.
Wow.
And asked them, am I supposed to be smoking marijuana? Excuse me. All right, it's more to the story. The same dude that you see on my 30 for 30 sitting up there crying and, it's more to the story, okay? So he supposedly drops a dime on me. So when I get back into jail, they say, you, and you on this wall, everybody else on this wall, y'all going back. So I'm like, okay, a little nervous. Hey, what we doing over here? Oh, you, and you, y'all got 4 drug screens tonight. Oh my God. Oh, what do you mean for me? Y'all got 4 drug screens tonight. Y'all on work release, right? I said, yes, sir. So then, word got back to me that he supposedly called the jail and asked them, was I supposed to be smoking while on probation? They drug tested me. I got popped. Lost my scholarship to Florida State. That's how I went to Marshall. Okay? So, I went to Marshall. Got drafted, all this other stuff. It's more to the story. So ESPN calls me. All right? And says, Randy, we want to do a 30 for 30 documentary on Rand University. You always said it when they gave you an introduction on Monday Night Football. We want to know what Rand University is about. Now, if any of y'all from the hood, the streets, wherever, everybody got a Rand University. Rand University is where all the has-beens that was somebody back in the day, that they sit right here on the corner store playing cards, drinking 40s, telling you all the stuff that they didn't do. You know what I'm saying? That's Rand University. Everybody got a Rand University. So they wanted my 30 for 30 documentary about my hood and about the fellas, this and that. So I said no, because I remember when I first started this meeting, I said, the things that you hear on television that are written about your celebrities and people that y'all follow and stuff, it's not the truth. If you don't see T.I. or Jay-Z and Beyonce come out and say, hey man, I did it, it's not true. So with all of that said, with the documentary, the people in my community was like, oh man, this could put us on the map, boss. You ain't never did nothing for us. I ain't never did nothing for y'all. I do something for the kids every year. Right. But for y'all grown folk, y'all been there. So why should I be spending my money on 30 and 40 and 50-year-old people that already had their chance in life? Exactly. All right? So I get talked into doing it. I do it. Okay? Now, you got some people in the community, that ain't how it happened, Randy. They spray painted. I mean, I don't even know how big the letters were. They sprayed, they probably like 8-9 feet letters. Hang Moss on the high school. Hang. Yeah, hang. I think they took it down like 3 days later. So they were protesting, marching, hang me, do all this crazy stuff. So back to the 30 for 30 documentary. So we did the 30 for 30. So he gets on there. If you go back to the 30 for 30, I told ESPN, I don't want him on my documentary. Later on, I will tell you all why, but I don't want him on it. Okay? He cried and pleaded for them to put him on the 30 for 30 documentary. If you go back and look at it, look behind it. Okay? Right. You won't see nothing because he covered himself up so we couldn't see his interview. There is some shrubs, like some vines and stuff, all behind him. And he's sitting, like trying to hide to do his interview. Because if we'd have seen him, cut the interview. 30 for 30 ESPN, no documentary, cut it off. So he did his part of the documentary where he's on it. That's why he wants people to feel sorry for him, because he snuck behind the bushes and did it, and they put him on a 30 for 30 documentary. Okay, now, the same dude that I'm talking about, he now is getting ready to open up a baseball clinic. I'm the one from Randy Moss's 30 for 30 documentary. Y'all come out and support me while I host this baseball camp. Right now, 2017. All right? So the same dude you're talking about, we grew up, doing this thing. We stole together. We threw rocks together. But when it was time to separate ourselves, we're like, hey man, we got another dude named Jason Williams. Jason Williams, man, white guy, all right? And, you know, it was just more happy for everybody that made it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, come on, y'all know people from y'all's community that was somebody that didn't make it. Okay, that's the same in my community. So that's how that documentary, you know, came out. He didn't make it, and now he tried to bring someone down with me, and that happened to be me. Didn't work, but he had a good shot. All right, any more? Yes, ma'am.
What's something that you would like to leave with us, like some advice or anything?
I think just being able to, you know, ladies, for you all to understand you all's position in life as women, as a future wife. I think that, you know, for us men to understand our position as men, one as fathers, and mothers, fathers, husbands, and I think that if you understand with the way our economy is going, not a big Trump supporter, really don't care about him, and probably a couple of y'all feel the same way, if not everybody, but I think just when you look at the way this world is turning, it's not turning for the better, it's turning for the worse. You know, so if I could leave you with something, it's just more of you taking care of yourself and taking care of the loved ones around you, and not being or not care about anybody outside of that circle. You know what I'm saying? You might have a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, that, oh, we've been tight for 10 years, but your girlfriend might not have the same views, values, and morals as you do. You might just care for her because she's a good girl. You know what I'm saying? But is she going where you headed? You know what I'm saying? So if I could leave y'all with something, man, just stay focused and understand your position in life. Because the older you get, the harder it's going to get. No matter how successful, how much money, how many shoes, how many houses, the older you get, it will get harder. If you focus and got the right attitude, it'll be easy for you. I appreciate y'all having me. Mr. King, I appreciate you, man. I ain't gonna take up more of y'all's time. Anytime, man. Y'all see me out in the streets, I tell everybody the same. If I'm by myself, it's all love. I'm with my wife and my kids, man. I don't spend a lot of time with my family, so when I do, man, it's genuine. All right, man? Yes, man.